Hi everyone, this is Matt. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about writing your CV. Now, the purpose of a CV is to show the hiring team that you have what it takes to solve their business problem. Every company will have a different business problem. So your first job is to identify this problem. For example, they could be looking for just another pair of hands. They could be looking for someone with ideas who will improve their processes, streamline their processes, or they might be looking for someone who will expand their business by bringing new clients. So your first job is to identify this business problem and then customize your CV to match this business problem to show that you can solve it. So create multiple CVs for different roles. I can't imagine that you could have one CV that would show that you are a great fit for any role. For example, I can't imagine that one CV would show that you are great for a sales position and for a project management position and for a software development position, right? So you really need to make few CVs for different roles, and then if you really like the company, then you should customize your CV even further. Once you send your CV to a company, then it will be analyzed by a screening software. This software will look for keywords, so your CV needs to be very, very clear. Avoid bright colors, infographics, images, anything that could potentially make your CV look pretty might also confuse the software. So avoid these, and also avoid columns, because sometimes software is able to only read the column on the left and it's not able to read the following columns on the right. If the software picks up enough keywords, then the recruiter will pick up your CV and will check whether you actually have the skills to solve their business problem. However, first of all, you need to make sure that you don't have any information in your CV that the recruiter can screen you out for. Don't have your picture, gender information, family information, salary expectations. Don't have any personal identifiers there, because you don't know what is going on in your recruiter's head, and it's better to be safe than sorry, right? So don't include these, and also don't include complicated work jargon, right? Remember, the recruiters are not experts in your field. They know some basics, they will recognize some standard basic abbreviations, but don't have anything complicated, because they need to read your CV and understand it. They actually need to see that you have what it takes to do the job. Use keywords from the job advert in your CV, but don't use them as a buzzword. You need to substantiate them. If they are looking for understanding of the products, tell them that you've been using their products, if you have, for how many years, how often, did you use them for any publications, and so on. Give them some data, give them some metrics, right? If you're looking for experience with software, technique, method, whatever it is, do the same. Give them some numbers. How long did you use it for? How often? Do you have any data published using this software, and so on? Just give them the numbers. You need to exemplify your soft skills. Remember, they can always teach you the hard skills, but it's much more difficult to teach someone the soft skills. And you will work with other people, you will be a part of a team, and also you might work with clients. So they really need to make sure that based on your past experience, you are good with people. When I was a PhD student, I used to work for Brilliant Club Charity. I used to run a society at my university, and also I used to run iGEM team at my uni. So you can look this up in the description below, but the key thing is I used these experiences to exemplify my soft skills. Conflict resolution, improving processes, managing time, resources, people, setting aims and objectives for others were all part of my responsibilities. If you improve the process, then tell them by how much or for how many people. Give a metric. If you managed people, how many? If you managed resources, how much money were they worth? And so on. Give them numbers. We are all detail-orientated team players with creative mindsets, but it means absolutely nothing if these are not the keywords we're looking for, or if they are not substantiated with examples. Also, keep your CV up to 2 pages long max and have lots of white spaces. The recruiter will have 200 other CVs to look at, and he will only flick through yours, right? he will only give 30, maybe 60 seconds to your CV. So this is why it's so important to have all the keywords with examples clearly presented, so they can immediately see that you are a great fit for the role. Also, you don't need to say the obvious stuff. So we can all use Microsoft Office. You don't need to say it. If they really want you to use it, then they will check with you during the interview. You're writing in English, you don't have to tell them that you are fluent in English. Also, same for references. If they want references, they will specifically ask you for them. You don't need to say that references will be provided upon request. Actually, in my experience, the industry is walking away from asking for references. So don't bother. If they need them, they will ask you. Right, so I'm trying to keep these episodes about 10 minutes long, up to 10 minutes long. So I'm going to talk to you guys in the next one about the cover letter. And remember, the cover letter is just another form of you directly talking to the hiring team, the hiring manager, that you can solve their business problem. So we'll dive deeper into this next week. And as always, if you benefit from this content, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. And I will see you in the next one.